I recall over 10 years ago or so, I met two co-workers who actually shared that they had very negative experiences growing up with men and dating and things like that. And it actually ruined their perception of men and ruined their understanding of what a relationship actually is. And still to this day, to my understanding, they are still not in secure relationships, and they're pushing 40 now, and they still haven't grasped any healthy mind man. You know, one of them I actually had the opportunity to connect with a little bit, maybe a year or two ago, just on the phone and chatting, and you know, she admired a lot of the things that I shared on social media because we were connected online. But she realized that her initial situation from the earlier years ruined her understanding of what a relationship is. And she admitted that. And my thoughts on this is that just because you have negative experiences, ladies, with men, maybe they really destroyed your trust. Maybe they showed that they were not reliable. Maybe it could be a family member, or maybe it could be somebody that hurt you, you know, or assaulted you in some way. You have to keep in mind that not every man operates at that capacity. There are men that are living at a higher standard, and I always advise women to invest in men who love God, because when you are in the hands of a man who loves God, he will use God's standard and God's guidelines to guide the relationship, and that will be the standard of how he is to live. You know, even if he's falling short, he knows what the standard is. But when you are entrusting yourself with somebody who is without God, now you're trusting somebody to live up to whatever standard they decide that they want to create in their own minds, their own imaginations. So you're going to be at the mercy of this person. And it makes it really difficult if you're sexually intimate with somebody, because God has created women to tie themselves to men. And so if you're with a jerk, then he's going to drag you all along, you and your heart and everything else around like a rag doll, and you're going to be put in a worse position. So this is why it's important to invest in a man who loves the Lord. And if you have no desire to be with a man who loves the Lord, you have to understand that you may not have a relationship with God to begin with, because when God transforms us, especially women, you're going to actually find yourself unattracted to men who mistreat women, and you're going to be unattracted to men who don't know how to behave and don't know how to control themselves. You know, you're going to be appealed by a man who has a more mature, responsible relationship, not only with his family and his friends, but with you as well. He's going to show respect and love, and that's going to be something that appeals to you. But you may be in a very unhealthy place if you're still appealed by toxic men, and you've already had enough experience that doesn't work. So it's just something that I try to tell my friends, my family, and people that I love. It's very important that you understand the correct approach on how to receive a man, and what kind of man should you open yourself up to begin with, if that makes sense.